Is Misha Lucas O'Cahan, agus má Caith fáilte, higa an Steve Igelin Shaw. Hi, I'm Luke Kane, and welcome to this little YouTube video. With the coming of St. Patrick's Day, I thought it would be nice to learn a little Irish toast, especially for my friends and relatives, who I know will go to Mass and celebrate the feast, and then afterwards they may have a beverage or two. And this would be an appropriate time to celebrate St. Patrick by giving a toast in the Irish language. And my favorite toast is this one. Caith siar ach aniar. And if you want to make it look even fancy schmancy here, this is the same toast, not in the Roman font that you see on top, but this is in the Shanclo, the old style print. And just one little thing I like to point out. See this little dot here? That's the same as this H. This little dot was borrowed by the Irish monks, I don't know, somewhere around the times of the 9th century, when they started writing stuff down. And what they did is they took a trick from the monks in general, who whenever they made a mistake, and you have to remember this is before the days of whiteout, whenever they made a mistake and they put a letter that they couldn't erase, they would say, oops, we goofed, and they put this, what's called a bulcha, which means strike. They put a little strike, and it says, okay, I screwed up, reader, so please don't put this T in the word. And to the Irish, it sort of fits into the grammar. This T would be pronounced like a T in English, sorta. Actually, two different pronunciations, but that's neither here nor there. But this H is to say that we want to take the T sound, t, and we want to soften it. Or actually, I guess it's a t, because it's a slender T. But anyway, it goes from being a t to being a so it's ka, or kai, if you're from the north. And you'll notice the same thing happens here with the bulcha here. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go, I'll say it one more time in my ugly American accent. All right, and then I'll see if we can steal some words from some native speakers and see how they would at least say parts of this. So I would say this if I was saying this in County Donegal, which is where my family is from. Caith siar ach aniar. All right, so let's see how each of these words is pronounced by a native speaker. All right, now we're going to listen to native speakers speak each of the words so we can try and overcome the impediments of my ugly American accent. And to do this, we're going to rely principally on this web page called Folklore.ie. It was published just last year by our friends at Forras na Gaeilge. And what they've done is a marvelous, brilliant thing. They have taken the two major dictionaries in the Irish language, Folklore Gaeilge Béarla by O'Donnell, the Irish language to English language dictionary, and they've combined it with the English to Irish dictionary, and they've added some grammar, and they've also added some pronunciation. So that's what we're going to do. So first we're going to type in the word ka, or kai. All right, and you see it has lots and lots of meanings. The meaning we're looking for here, though, is principally throw. All right, but now how do we pronounce this? So we go up to Foricht, which is pronunciation, and Cuiga Ulu is Ulster province, and here's how they say it in Ulster.
Caith.
Kai. Now listen to the difference with Cuiga Muin. This is Munster province.
Ka.
All right, more like a ka as opposed to a
Caith.
kai.
Ka.
And Connacht, as O'Rahilly, the first Irish linguist to look at dialects, said there are really two dialects, and the Connacht dialect is just somewhere stuck in the middle. They borrow from each.
Ka.
Ka. All right.
Ka. Ka.
In this case, I think they're borrowing mostly from Munster. Anyway, kai and ka. All right, so what's the next word? Ka. Siar. S-I-A-R. Siar. All right, what does siar mean? Siar literally means to the west. It's a direction, which doesn't make any sense. Throw to the west? What am I going to throw to the west? Well, you got to realize this is the language of Druids, or it was the language of Druids. till they got thrown out of the country by St. Patrick, who we celebrate shortly. And but to a Druid, the first thing you do is you get up in the morning and pray to the sun, because Druids worship the sun. And where is the sun the first thing in the morning? It's in the east. So if you're looking to the east and you throw something to the west, you're throwing it back. So the meaning for our little toast, kashire ach naliganire, or kaishire ach naliganire, is throw it to the back. Okay? It's to the back. Because to the back would be to the west if we were a devout Druid. Okay. What's the next word? A. Okay, A is basically got one meaning, he or him. And since Irish does not have a pronoun for it, it can also mean it. But the A, it's kashire. Why is it a he and not a her? Well, it turns out, I think the reference is to a joch, a drink, and a drink is a masculine noun. So since we're referring, I think, to a masculine noun, it's kashire. If we were referring to something feminine, or feminine noun, it would be kashir I, but we're not, so anyway. So this is A. How do we pronounce it? This is the easiest of them all. A. A.
A.
A.
Yeah, pretty much the same in all three dialects. Alright, so now let's go to the next word. Ach. Ach, what does ach mean? Ach is but. Oops. There we go, let's try that again. Ach is the conjunction and preposition but. Alright, and most of these are examples, but basically it's but. But you have to realize it can also mean things like unless or until or as soon as. It has a wide semantic range, as do many Irish verbs. I'm sorry, as do many Irish words. Alright, so how do we pronounce it? It's what we really want to know. Now, in the south, in Munster, this is going to be a little harsh. It's going to sound like the sound you make before you spit when you're clearing your throat. Pui.
Ach. Ach.
Okay, but in Ulster, it's more like a ah. It's like breathy. Ah. Okay, and Connacht is more like Munster. So ach, and that's but. So kaishire, throw it back. Ach, but. All right. No. N-A, oops, it's N-A fada, sorry. Alt O225, that's N-A. Enter, what is that? Well, let's look it up here. Yeah, it has a lot of different meanings, but the one we're looking for is which one? Here it is. It's the negative verbal particle used before the present subjunctive to express a wish. Oops, nope, wrong one. It's this one. The negative vertical particle used with the imperative mood. So, and this is the verb is in the imperative mood. Ka is the imperative. It's an order. So it's a nice toast. I'm actually ordering you to throw this back. And this is big, but don't. And now I'm ordering you. Lig is the verb actually here. We'll get to in a second. And essentially it means do not. All right. Okay, so how do you pronounce it? Well, again, it has a little variation as well. In the south, it's pronounced rhymes with paw.
No.
Paw, no.
No.
But in the north,
Nah.
nah. This funny-looking mark here is called a shinufada. Shinufada. It means a long stretching. And a long A is actually supposed to sound
No.
like this. But in Ulster, they sort of ignore
Nah.
the fada. Anyway, and Connacht.
No.
Nah. All right, so nah, nah, or no, depending on your perspective. And now leak. All right. Now, what does leak mean? Well, oh, yeah, here we go. Let, allow, permit. All right. You'll notice that the Irish verbs are written in the ordinal mood. Basically, in English, they're written as what's the word I'm looking for? As gerunds, to let. but this is not to let. This is lig. This is let, allow, permit. This is a command, and just a little variation in the way the dictionary is set up. Anyway, how do we pronounce this thing? Well, it's a slender G, so it should be pronounced more like a K.
Lake.
Lake. All right?
Lake.
That's what they do in Ulster. But
Lake.
here they pronounce it more like a G in Connacht for reasons I don't understand, but then again, I'm just a learner here. Is Folomore me? Monster.
Lake.
Sort of in the middle.
Lake.
Lig.
Lake.
Lig. This is slender, that's broad. Anyway, and we're almost done. We only have one more new word, aniar, which is not going to be in our pronunciation, unfortunately. Okay, so you see it's not here. Near amshu ein torhi sabalakansha. No fruit was found in this collection. Basically, the word's not there, although that's a nice way to put it. Anyway, however, I have another application that I can use called Easy Reader. This was created a few years back by a guy from IBM. He was born in Ireland, but grew up in the United States. Or actually moved to the United States after he got his degrees in IT. And when he retired, he thought he'd relearn his Irish by creating this really nice program. It's a little dated. I haven't used it in a while. And the word I want is aniar. Okay, and let me make that bigger. Okay. And what's nice about this,
aniar,
alright, I click on it, and guess what? There's the word. From the west. Forward. Forth. Okay. So remember where we are. We have kaishire, which means throw it back. Ach na lig aniar. Don't let... Wait a minute. From the west? What does that mean? Well, remember we threw it back, which means we threw it to the west. Now we don't want it to come back from the west. Alright? So, kaishire ach na lig aniar. Basically we're saying throw it back, and don't throw it up. So, that's what this means. If you were going to throw up, and you're a good druid facing the east, you would throw it back to the west, and if you threw it up, you would go from west to east, which is what this direction is. Sorry for the graphic sort of use of the word, but there we are. All right, now, we've already done A, so that's pretty straightforward. A, fada. E fada is just pronounced like an A. And let's see if we take one more shot at putting the whole thing together with my ugly American accent. All right, so let's finish by my feeble attempt in my ugly American accent to finish this toast, to put it all together. First I'll do it with a northern dialect, and then I'll try it with a southern dialect. And I'd urge you to practice before you go out. And for the northern dialect, I think it'll sound something like this. Kaishire ach na ligniere. Kaishire ach na ligniere. The southern one is, remember it's ka? Kashire, kashire, ach, like you're going to spit, pui. Kashire, ach, and it's na, not na. Na ligniere. So let me see if we can put that together. Kashire, ach na ligniere. Well, anyway, I wish you all a happy and a healthy St. Patrick's Day, and please be careful out there. Don't drink and drive. Sláinte.